I read that you guys were saying that a few of the Jedi were left in like hibernation or something for 100 or 200 years, and that would add up with the fact that he's got those High Republic robes going on. So it's very possible that he was indeed a High Republic Jedi and betrayed by someone, and then now he's like part of the dark side. But you know, like, maybe he was good for that time, and because time has changed so much, the Jedi back then would now be deemed as like a little more harsh or a little more evil. And so his ways possibly may be okay, maybe good for that time, but now are deemed as more so not good. Anyways, that's who I think this dude is. I think he's from the High Republic. I think he has been like frozen in time or whatever for a couple hundred years, and he's now just been like reawakened and put into Bacta by Cal Kestis, and Cal's waiting for him to recover and awaken. I don't think the title of Jedi Survivor is all that much about Cal Kestis. I think it's about this guy. I think this is the Jedi who survived.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So in today's video, I want to discuss, of course, the main question we all have about Jedi Survivor. And if you didn't see my live reaction to the trailer dropping, go check that one out. It's about an hour and a half long. Had a really fun time with the community. So thanks to you guys if you were there. So we went over everything. We looked at the trailer for like an hour and a half, engaging with chat, talking with you all, reading your different theories and your thoughts and concerns and this and that about the game. And the main thing was, of course, who the heck is this guy? Pops up like right around here. Who is this guy? Now, this guy, and we're going to talk about him in detail a little bit in this video and go a little into like a theory land of what he's about, who he is, and where he comes from. So, first of all, I want to point out that this guy is the same as this guy. This dude in the Bacta tank. Okay? This is the same guy. And we identified him by the scar on his head. Hair is pretty much the same as well. Now, if you can take your attention to this moment here, Cal Kestis has a beard. And this, of course, is Cal Kestis, but he is in the same place. He's looking at the dude in the Bacta tank. But if you all notice, there's a bit of a difference. There's a little more moss around. Of course, the lights aren't on. But the main thing is that he doesn't have a beard. And in this scene right here where he's looking at him again, he's got a beard. He's got a full beard. So since he can't grow a beard magically like that within a split second of a moment, it tells me that he's going back and forth and checking on this dude in the Bacta tank. Now, clearly, this is some sort of facility that's been closed down for a long time, long enough to have moss and greenery growing everywhere. It doesn't look like anyone is at the facility, so could this be a lower level somewhere on Camino? Is this a clone of someone? Is this perhaps another sort of cloning facility that was abandoned, not on Camino, somewhere else in the galaxy that Cal Kestis found? How did he find this? What is the significance of this guy? Clearly, this guy is important because Cal keeps visiting him several different times. There's 2 times right here. So, this guy's obviously important. He's obviously on Cal's mind. And we hear him say that he was betrayed by the one closest to him, that the Jedi Order is no more. Now, we hear him say that, and then, of course, if we jump to a minute 30, he's chilling with this dude who we all deemed as Darth Scrotum. So, what else can we identify about this dude? Kind of pale. He has these kinds of elegant gold robes. This is indicative of the High Republic. So this is not the Old Republic, it's the High Republic. So this guy might be 100 to 200 years old, depending on when he was around during the High Republic. High Republic goes as far as, I think, 400 years before the Phantom Menace. 400 years before we meet Qui-Gon and Anakin and all that, and Jar Jar. So Jar Jar's the key to all of this, remember that. So this guy, I believe, has been held in captivity, and he even says,
I will not be imprisoned again.
I will not be imprisoned again. Okay, so why is he saying this? Why is he imprisoned? Who imprisoned him? Was he imprisoned in this Bacta tank? Did Cal Kestis find him somewhere else and rush him to a Bacta tank? But what would be keeping him alive? I don't think this guy is human. He's got gray skin. Look at the arm that doesn't have an arm. If you look at his shoulder, he's got these like weird sort of circuit board looking things. I don't think this guy is human. He's either enhanced cyborg or android, or he is just some sort of alien that we don't know about. Now, Of course, Star Wars is no stranger to alien species and, humanoid looking beings that have different colored skin. The Chiss, for example, they look pretty human for the most part, except for their red eyes and blue skin. Okay, well, I have a few theories on him. Either he is someone from the High Republic and he was betrayed by either a Jedi who was close to him, or he was betrayed by a Sith or a dark side user or an acolyte who he was close with. We don't know this guy's affinity to the Force. We don't know if he's good or bad. Now, the High Republic, they were a lot different than the Jedi that we see today. And of course, the Jedi around this time weren't really around anymore at all. So I guess the Jedi that we saw in the prequel trilogy, which would have been 10 years before this moment here, because Jedi Survivor takes place 10 years after Revenge of the Sith. I highly doubt he's been chilling in here for 120 years. I feel like he was found somewhere by Cal. Cal took him and threw him in this bacta tank. And then from here, he escapes or something like that. And then turns into the dude that Cal ends up fighting, which is right here. Because this guy's using the only arm that the other guy has, which is his left arm. And as we saw, he didn't have a right arm. And he's doing a one-handed thing. So, could this very well be the same dude? I think it is. So, my question is, what does this guy want with Cal? Because obviously he's rolling with Darth Scrotum. And as we saw, Darth Scrotum isn't really all that nice to Cal Kestis, right?
Friend here, why? His kind are supposed to be dead.
So, clearly, he's rolling with the bad guys. Now, it's possible that he was either betrayed by Darth Scrotum here, or he was betrayed by somebody else and now he's just rebanding his crew together. Now, this device is something that opened a lot of the doors in Jedi Fallen Order. It could do other things. I don't really know. He could be from Zepho. This guy could be Ancient from Zepho. The thing with them is that they started out peaceful and nice and good and the light side of the Force, and then they became more and more corrupt as time went on. Does this dude have some sort of affinity to the Zephonians? Does he have some sort of affinity to the High Republic? Or is he something different altogether? My main question is, and I think the thing that we can take away from this the most, that a lot of people aren't really paying attention to, is the fact that Cal is visiting this guy several times over and over again. Now, another thing to pay attention to, Cal's lightsaber changes throughout the game, throughout the trailer. He either goes from dual wielding to dual saber, he either goes from dual wielding to double bladed, and you can see that on his hilt. Sometimes the saber hilt is super long, sometimes it's the short one here. So perhaps he has fought him already and then has questions for him, takes his arm off and puts him in bacta, and then, is being the nice guy, of course, and then the guy breaks free and whatever and tries to fight him. Or perhaps this is way after, at the end of the game, and Cal is just having to fight him as a boss. Okay, so after typing in gray-skinned dudes in Star Wars, they could be a Calzarian, or near humans from the planet Calzeron with gray leather-like skin. They also had black teeth. Okay, well, I guess not him. Now, the comments mentioned that some dudes in the High Republic, and I didn't read the High Republic, I wasn't all that interested in it, and I may have to go read it or listen to it on Audible now because of this game. But I read that you guys were saying that a few of the Jedi were left in hibernation or something for 100 or 200 years, and that would add up with the fact that he's got those High Republic robes going on. So it's very possible that he was indeed a High Republic Jedi and betrayed by someone, and then now he's part of the dark side. But maybe he was good for that time, and because time has changed so much, the Jedi back then would now be deemed as a little more harsh or a little more evil. And so his ways possibly may be okay, maybe good for that time, but now are deemed as more so not good. And lastly, I want to come to the point here about this dude that I don't think the title of Jedi Survivor is all that much about Cal Kestis. I think it's about this guy. I think this is the Jedi who survived. And I mentioned that during the live watch party, or the live stream when the trailer came out, is that I think Jedi Survivor has to do with him. I could be wrong. It could be about Cal. But if I had to take a bet, I think it's about this dude. I think he's probably the Jedi that survives for however many years, hundreds or just 10 years or whatever. Was he part of the Jedi Order? Was he part of something else long before it? Did he skip this whole time period? And now he's sort of like a vampire that's been awakened That would be pretty sweet. And I want to see more of his abilities, his powers, and more of an understanding of how the Jedi back then would act nowadays and how they stack up to the Jedi now, because Cal is pretty powerful. He's not super powerful, but he is pretty strong and gifted. He's got psychometry like Quinlan Voss, where he can like touch objects and see into their past, and so on and so forth. And, you know, force freeze and all this stuff, force pull. He's gotten pretty strong, and I bet in this game he's probably a lot stronger. So I would love to see how he stacks up against this guy if they do end up fighting, or he fights someone else. Now, if this guy is a Jedi, then why the heck does he have a... And this is him fighting Cal, then why does he have a red lightsaber? What happened along the way that he's now evil? How did he make his lightsaber bleed? You know, these are all things that I want answers to. Anyways, that's who I think this dude is. I think he's from the High Republic. I think he has been like frozen in time or whatever for a couple hundred years, and he's now just been like reawakened and put into Bacta by Cal Kestis, and Cal's waiting for him to recover and awaken, and he's pissed. So that's pretty much it. I want to see why he's pissed, who froze him, why was he betrayed, and what is his whole deal about, and why does he want Cal? Cal ends up saving him and putting him in Bacta to awaken him and heal him. So a lot of questions. I hope this game's going to be a banger. I loved the first one. I had the most fun on this channel ever when we were streaming that game. It was by far the most enjoyable. We ordered pizza that one night, and it was great, and I can't wait to do it again. Connecting with you guys is like my favorite thing in this whole community. It's my favorite thing on the channel. So I love you all. Hope you enjoyed my theory. Let me know what you think about this dude. And go follow me on Instagram at Star Wars Theory, and on Spotify at Star Wars Theory, which I have new daily podcasts every single day. Yeah, thanks everyone. Hope you have a great day. May the Force be with you.